And now, an exclusive sneak preview of a recent X-Talks webinar, Unlocking Superior R&D Results, Mastering the FSP Model.
I mentioned very early on that it's all about the people, process, and systems, and you could argue, it's data and technology, yes, that part of systems, you have the process, but I think starting off with the strategy, when we think about we talk about the degree of control, right? So every company has its own mindset, its own vision, its own mission. Whether we touch on that or help them refine it is one thing, but we take what's already established, right? Work with them to understand based on their specific situation, their pipeline, what should their strategy be? So their overall, the overall strategy, considering therapeutic areas, right? Considering, mechanisms of actions within their pipeline, how big their pipeline is, what they're currently doing today, how they're doing it. And based on that overall direction, we start looking at their culture. And everything is linked. I talked a little bit about, degree of control. Some companies say, we have to keep our thumbprint. We have to put a thumbprint on everything. So you have to consider culture, because ultimately, if you don't consider culture, no matter what you put on that piece of paper or PowerPoint strategy that Jenny referred to, it's never going to work, right? So now if I have this overall strategy, I'm going to lump these few together, but capabilities, right? So what do I consider an internal, maybe competitive differentiator? And that could be my data management group. So I may say, based on that culture and the strategy we designed up front, high level, right, that we consider our data management capabilities, competitive advantage, but maybe we need to mature them, or certain other capabilities in other areas are not where they should be, and we really do want to consider. So we start looking at, how the capability maturity, what makes sense for them to look at in terms of partnering with an external organization like Syneos FSP 360, and that we'll get into the details. Clearly, the data and technology piece, right, plays alongside the capabilities along with the processes. So if we're going to, where are we going to use our own processes as Pharmaco A calls Acme Pharma? When will we use our partners' processes? But again, the processes, capabilities, and data all are completely integrated. And then not finally, but org structure, right? So if we develop the strategy, we understand the processes, the culture, the capabilities required, what should the org structure look like? And again, we're not in the business of saying you should, I'm not talking about downsizing or upsizing or what have you, but if we are developing these partnerships, there's different types of roles that come out, because we shouldn't be duplicating everything a clinical service provider does. But yes, we do have to maintain oversight. So I think it's really about designing, again, the most appropriate org structure to support this new strategy and the details that come out of that. So I know that's in a nutshell or within a few minutes, but this is really, these are really the 6 dimensions that when I work with an organization that we delve into in detail in terms of developing their proposed overall model. And going back to the earlier discussion we had about change management, right? When you do this, don't take it lightly. It really requires a lot of dedication and commitment to designing and deploying this strategy or operating model that comes out of that. So you really want to achieve the results that it targets. Don't underestimate the effort. Don't let it scare you either. But it is work and commitment to get benefits, like anything else in life. It doesn't come easy. But again, these 6 dimensions, while driving perhaps your operating model, right, the result will be different for everybody on this phone, right? That model is always going to look differently. So that's how we approach it. I'm sure there are other ways, but we found this to be very effective, and I thought I would share it. So,
to view the entirety of this webinar, visit the link in the description and register on xtalks.com, completely free of charge.